everybody, I'm Hannah, I'm Scribe's head accountant, and I'm excited to bring you this quick video overview of the most recent changes that we've made to Scribe accounts. So this is mainly surrounding the transactions menu, following lots of feedback from our customers, mainly surrounding the fact that it was only originally possible to record a single code and a single VAT type against a single transaction. So we've now updated that to allow multiple codes and multiple VAT types against transactions. And while we've been working on that, we've also given the whole a bit of a facelift, so you'll see things will look a little different, but hopefully more intuitive and easy to use. So I've gone into add a payment, which you'll now see is a bit different. We've got three sections: basic details, payment details, and additional details. The asterisk next to a field denotes mandatory fields, so you know which ones that you need to complete in order for the record to save. So firstly, under tender, we've added again some additional options following feedback. So as well as online payment, cheque and petty cash, you can now select from direct debit, standing order or card. So select the bank from the normal way. You now have search options for all these ones where there's drop down options. So descriptions still there as they were previously, but again you create a new one if you need to. And again for suppliers, this you can select it from the list. And once done so, you can click the pen icon if you want to edit it, and you can still create one if it doesn't exist already. Okay, so let's enter an invoice date and an invoice number. There we go, and then we're into payment details. So this is a little bit different. It's all lined up with the values now and gives us options to have multiple rows, as we said. So we can select our first cost center, which then gives us our cost code option. So we can select that. You'll also see you have the option to create new. So if you did need a new cost code and you're midway through an entry, you don't have to go out of it to add one and come back to it. You can do it whilst you're in the transaction itself. So I'll select one that already exists though. Then we've got the VAT type, and then we can enter in the amount. If we copy the row, it will be as it was here, and we might just want to make a small change. Nice and simple. We can add amend a value if we need to, or you can add row for a blank row, so you can start entering if it's different information that you're using here. There we go, and we put that information in. Just make sure that tallies up. But now what will happen is we'll have three lines recorded against this single transaction rather than needing to worry about separate transactions or splitting the record. All that information will be retained in this one payment 60. And then finally, in additional details at the bottom, we now have the power used for spend. So if you'd like to record that information as well, you can do. So they all exist in here, and you can simply search in here. So for example, if this related to recreation open spaces, let's say, we can now add that information in, and then we can click add and it will appear in the list. So there it is at the top, as we've said. We also now have a detailed view option toggle here. So if you click that, it'll take us into detailed view, and what that basically means, it will show the individual lines of the transaction. Because we use three different codes when we enter in that transactions, we can now see the individual details of those values and those codes, the total amount that we actually paid, the supplies over here, and we've got all that information on the top level if we just want to look at it in that way. There are some other changes surrounding this as a result of some of these information we've used, so do look at the help guide and the release document that we're providing in a bit more information about it. But this is the main overview of what we've done. I hope you find it useful. Much easier. It should improve bank reconciliations no end, because you're going to have one transaction that relates to one payment to a supplier rather than having to match up multiple entries on Scribe to one entry on the bank statement. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoy it.